Hi guys, I'm John Emmanuel and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm really excited to be unveiling a brand new product. We have these beautiful BluOcean Chrysanthemums and they've just landed here in Australia this week. The BluOcean Chrysanthemum is brought in exclusively by Wafex Flowers and distributed all over Australia. In Sydney, you can find them at Harry Wholesalers, in Brisbane, Tesla's Brisbane, in Perth, Tesla's Perth, and in Victoria, you have Tesla's Monbulk, as well as Unicorn Flowers in Adelaide. The chrysanthemums have been bred in Japan and grown in Colombia. Fun fact is that the original technology actually originated right here in Australia. The colours range from a lilac-y blue right up to a beautiful dark purple. Here we have the beautiful coral variety, and this is the deepest of all the colours, which is really beautiful. We also have the Jade variety here. And then we come over to the purple Sapphire, which is a little bit lighter, really beautiful spider chrysanthemum almost in variety. And then we come over here to the Sapphire, and this is one of the lighter colours. It's a really beautiful bluey lilac-y sort of a shade. And then I don't have a vase of this one, but then I have the opal here, and it is a slightly more lilac-y variety than the Sapphire. The Sapphire definitely has more of a shade of blue in it, but they're absolutely beautiful. For this design, I'm going to be showcasing the Sapphire chrysanthemum, and I'm going to be doing a beautiful vase arrangement, and we're going to mix it with some flowers. I'm going to keep it quite monotoned. So we're going to be mixing these with a variety of eucalyptus, some beautiful hybrid delphinium, and some branches that I picked off a tree just behind me. So I'm going to start with placing some of the branches, and I'm just going to get rid of a few of the lower ones here. Just checked my height. I might even take this one off here so it doesn't poke my eye out. Then I'm just going to start placing them in the vase. So what I'm trying to do here is create a little bit of a grid. I'm just going to play with my heights. So what's really important when doing a vase design is trying to create that grid with the stems. So I'm quite happy with that. Now I'm going to go in with some placements of the eucalyptus. And now I'm going to go in and again, just trying to create that grid with the stems. This will make it easier when we start popping in the flowers. So I'm using this large gum to give us some height and structure. So I'm just making sure that I'm really happy with my placements. We can always go in a little bit later and move a few things around if we feel it needs to be zhushed a little bit. So I'm going to go in with our gorgeous hybrid delphinium now, being our longer flower. The hybrid delphinium is always really good to give you that beautiful height and also to help you get your line. So I'm quite happy with the amount of delphinium I have in the vase at the moment. I'm just going to go in and add a few more pieces of the eucalyptus, just to give it a bit more flow. Now I'm going to come in with the star of the show, the Sapphire Chrysanthemum. And it just blends so beautifully with the eucalyptus. And we've stripped and prepped all of these chrysanthemums. So there's no foliage that will go into the waterline. Now, had I had these chrysanthemums for a few more days, they definitely would have bloomed opened a little bit more. So this is going to be really good for the vase life because they'll last probably 10 days. So I'm just going to go around and continue to fill. So now I'm just going to play around with some of the height of the large eucalyptus. It sort of fell in a little bit, so now by just pulling it out a tad, it just gives it a bit more depth and dimension. So that's what it's looking like so far. So I'm just going to go in, add a few more short pieces of the eucalyptus and just a few more of the chrysanthemums, and we should almost be done. And there we have it, guys. Beautiful vase arrangement featuring our Sapphire chrysanthemums, and we've incorporated that with some eucalyptus, some hybrid delphinium, and just a beautiful few branches just to give it a little bit of contrast and texture. In this design, we're going to be showcasing the BluOcean coral variety chrysanthemum, and I'm really excited about this one because this is such a beautiful deep purple, and there's not a whole lot of flowers in deep purple that we have access to, so I'm really excited to show you what we're going to do. And for this one here, we're going to create it in a beautiful black trough, and I've prepped that with floral foam, and then I'm going to incorporate that with the Trix carnations, green hypericum berries, amaranthus, as well as some different types of branches for texture, and also the beautiful Vanda orchid. So I'm going to start off with some of these old man's whiskers, and I'm going to place this mainly around the side just to give us a little bit of texture, and this will come into play definitely a little bit later on. And I just want it to gently come over the pot, like so. And I'm just using the stem from the other piece of the whiskers just to help me hold in the branch that I've already placed in. So I'm really happy with this amount for the moment. So I'm just going to place this behind me. And now let's begin with popping some flowers in. So I'm going to start with these green Trix carnations, and I absolutely love the contrast of the greens and the purples. I think it's just such a beautiful look. It'll look really beautiful for an event. So this could easily be a stunning tablescape. And I'm just going to do these in soft groupings, maybe groupings of 2 to 3. And now what I'm going to go and do is just add some of the hypericum through this. And I'm also using the hypericum foliage to cover. This was being used for an event. The hypericum foliage is absolutely fine. However, if this is something that was going to be given for a gift, the hypericum foliage can wilt a little bit. So just be mindful of that. So I want this to be quite compact. So I am keeping everything quite low. And on similar levels, I have given a little bit of gradient here to the Trix. I'm happy with that for the moment. Now I'm going to go for the hero, our coral chrysanthemum. So I'm going to break these up. I want to sort of create a full, almost pave style. And as you can see, the purple contrast against the green is starting to look really, really good. I'm really happy with it. Again, with these chrysanthemums, if I was to buy this for an event, I would probably buy them 2 or 3 days prior to us using it, and that way all of these buds would be open and you'd get a lot more value for money out of the bunch. So I'm just going to go in with this beautiful little branch to give it a little bit of a twiggy vibe. And what looks really beautiful as well, it actually matches really well because it's almost a black with the pot that we've used. And it's good to do it at this point, because if I keep on adding too many more flowers, we won't be able to get it in and would actually break the chrysanthemums as we pop them in. Don't want it to be too high, just want the branches or the twigs just to come out slightly. Again, it's just giving us another play on texture here, and it looks really, really beautiful. We're going to continue with our chrysanthemums. It's looking beautiful. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going in and I'm filling in all the holes. I want, as I said earlier, I really want this to be nice and compact and full. And the chrysanthemums are a perfect filler, so they're working incredibly well. I'm just going to go towards the back here. So this would sit in the middle of a dining table, at home, or for a dinner party, or it could definitely be a beautiful centerpiece for a wedding as well. If you had long tables, this would look incredible. Or you could do round versions of these as well if they were to go in the middle of a round table. It's always really important to make sure you can't see any of your foam or your mechanics. So I'm just going to come on the other side of the table and have a look to make sure I'm happy with that, and to make sure everything is really well covered. I also want a little bit of this amaranthus to come through, so I'm just going to cut a piece here. So I'm just going to come through and add another stem here to support this piece of amaranthus on this side here. These will trail on the table slightly, or to just add another dimension. I'll repeat that on the other side. And finally, I'm going to come in with the beautiful Macara Vander orchids. And I've just prepped those in vials earlier. And there we have it. Again, so this would just make a really beautiful centerpiece, table arrangement. It could be used for a dinner party, for a wedding, whatever event really, even a beautiful corporate event. Let me clean my table up and then I'll give you the last look. So here we have it, guys. The beautiful table arrangement featuring the beautiful coral chrysanthemums, the new coral chrysanthemum, And the vibrancy of this is just unbelievable. It's so nice to be able to get another deep purple flower to use, particularly where we've been filling like what we have here. We've used the chrysanthemum to fill in and really create the beautiful density of this design. Yeah, it works really well, and so privileged to be one of the first florists in Australia to use the product. For this demonstration, I'm going to be using a wok bowl. This could be a beautiful centerpiece for a table. Could also be a beautiful arrangement in the foyer. It's quite a versatile design. I'm going to be showcasing our BluOcean Chrysanthemums again, which I'm really excited about. We have the purple Sapphire, which we're going to be using on this design. We're also going to be incorporating that with the Jade variety as well. Now, these here are two different styles of chrysanthemums, but the colors are almost the same, so they're going to work beautifully together. I'm going to also use camellia foliage with it, some beautiful ocean song roses, which are in a lilac hue, so it works perfectly with the perfect tones, and also these ornamental onions, as well as some camellia foliage. So let's get started. So we've already based up the bowl with some floral foam in it, and now I'm just going to go in and I'm going to put quite low some camellia foliage, and this will cover all of our mechanics. So I'm just going in and basing the design with the camellia foliage. As I said earlier, this will definitely cover all the mechanics, so it's really good to get in at the beginning of the design. It's so much easier than having to go at the end and poking through the flowers, and you can break and damage flowers in that process as well. So I want to come up in a slight dome. As I said, because I'd like to use this as a centerpiece as well, I don't want it to come too high, but you could definitely leave your stems longer and do quite a beautiful big design. But for this one here, I want to keep it quite low and compact, and really celebrate these beautiful chrysanthemums. In one of my other videos, I did complement the chrysanthemums with a eucalyptus. With that one there, it was really beautiful, a little bit more monotoned because it was not such a contrast. But with this design here, with the camellia foliage, the green of the camellia foliage is definitely a contrast to the purple and lilacs that I'm going to use. So I'm going quite dense with the camellia foliage, again to cover all my mechanics. Quite a quick design. So I'm quite happy with that coverage for the moment. So I'm going to just pop the rest of my camellia foliage on the ground, and let's start with our flowers. So I'm going to start with the ornamental onions, and I'm going to place these quite low because I just want the sprouts to sort of pop out through the design. So I'm going to just give it a little bit of interest and a little bit of texture as well. Just being gentle when inserting it into the floral foam because they are a waxy stem or a bit of a spongy stem. So when you insert it, just don't put too much pressure in it because it will break. And give it a bit of separation. Now that I have the ornamental onion in, I'm now going to go in with my roses. We've pre-reflexed these and we've stripped them as well, so they're absolutely ready just to pop into the design. What I'm going to do now is come in and do a few soft groupings of maybe 2 to 4 roses in each group. This one here though, I'm going to get a little bit more dimension. And as you can see there, it's just given a little bit of depth. So I've placed this last rose just on top of the other ones, just to give it some visual interest. I'm going to repeat that on this side here. Again, just leaving this last stem a little bit more longer, just to give us that depth that I'm after. Now there's nothing I love more in my floral designs than seeing an abundance of flowers. So this one here is right on trend for us, right on brand. Because to me, there's nothing more beautiful than just seeing flowers en masse. Just another small tip as well. When you're protruding the final rose within the grouping, it's really important to take off the rose foliage that's on that. So that way the rose foliage doesn't cover the roses that are underneath it. So I'm quite happy with the rose placements now. We may add a few more later. I'm going to go in with our beautiful chrysanthemums, and I might start with this one here. The contrast in the colors looks really, really beautiful. Let me just spin it around and show you. And those chrysanthemums are just beautiful. The colors are incredible. Now I'm going to go in with the Jade variety. And you can still make the humble chrysanthemum look really beautiful and luxurious when used the right way. They're such a diverse flower and can be used in so many different ways, be it event florals like I use them, for retail and giftings, as well as in funeral work. So the spectrum for the use of chrysanthemum goes across all aspects of floristry. So to continue the dome look here, I'm just going to bring the chrysanthemums down quite low so it starts giving us the desired shape. So I'm going to come back in with the purple sapphire. To get in nice and low with these ones, I'm just going to break them off their main stem. So in this design here, I'm using the BluOcean chrysanthemums as our secondary flower or our filler flower, but I'd actually love the opportunity to use these for an event where we just use the chrysanthemums in mass. I think that would look absolutely incredible. So I'm just going to go in now and make sure I've concealed the sides of the design so we don't see any mechanics. Just add a bit more camellia foliage to there. Particularly when doing centerpieces, it's a really good idea to get at the level that your guests will be looking at these at, just to make sure the finishes are absolutely perfect. There we have it, guys. Our completed wok bowl centerpiece design. Just give me a moment, let me get cleaned up, and I'll show you the finished product. To add just a little bit more dimension and a little bit more vibrancy, I'm actually going to use these Vanda orchids that I have and place them throughout. It also shows the versatility of what you can mix the chrysanthemums with. So we've added these Vanda orchids in extendable vials, just so they can sit nice and flat on the design. So here we have it. I hope you have enjoyed my demonstrations featuring the beautiful BlueOcean chrysanthemums. Check your nearest stockist around Australia, and it's been a real privilege to be able to use these beautiful flowers. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.